I wasn't supposed to be there. Mom had said she was feeling under the weather and didn't want visitors. But I knew better. She always made a fuss about being sick, unless something serious was going on. So I stopped by the old house, just to check in, just to make sure everything was all right. I parked down the street. That part was instinct. I wasn't even thinking suspiciously yet. Maybe I just wanted a moment of quiet before stepping back into the childhood home that held more ghosts than memories lately. What I heard inside, it changed me. Broke something that should have never needed fixing. I walked through the door, no creaks, no callouts. Just me and that familiar air. Then I heard Mom's voice, casual as pouring tea. How was your date? Clean yourself up and be more careful next time. What the hell? That voice didn't belong to a woman I respected anymore. It belonged to an accomplice. Then came her voice. My wife. My partner. What would I do without you? Thank you for helping with the termination of the pregnancy. If your son finds out, he will destroy me. Termination of the pregnancy. Your son. Like I was some idiot background character in a horror story they were co-writing. Like I wasn't the man who paid the bills, kept the roof overhead, remembered anniversaries, and gave up promotions to keep the family close. I didn't make a sound. Didn't kick the door in. Didn't explode like a man might be expected to. No. I left quietly. And in that silence, something cold and clear settled in me. Not rage. Not grief. Purpose. I drove aimlessly for an hour after that. She was pregnant. It wasn't mine. And they got rid of it. Together. My wife and my mother, co-conspirators in a betrayal so grotesque it felt fictional. But it was real. Too real. That night, I didn't go home. The next morning, I started building a new life, quietly. Step 1? A burner phone. Step 2? A call to Thomas Greer. Old buddy from college, now a divorce lawyer who specialized in complex cases. I didn't give him details yet, just told him to be ready. Then came step 3, information. I still had access to everything, bank accounts, credit cards, location sharing. She never thought she needed to hide that stuff from me. And why would she? I was the idiot husband. The loyal fool. The stable one. The one you betray and get away with it. But I wasn't that man anymore. In less than 72 hours, I had a timeline. Multiple dinners. Hotels. A name, Jason. Real estate agent. Tall. Drives a silver Audi. And apparently thinks pulling out is birth control. I also found the clinic receipt. My wife didn't even bother using cash. Just swiped the joint card and deleted the text notification. But our statements? They never lie. Oh, and Mom's role? Crystal clear. She paid for the Uber. Scheduled the doctor's appointment. Covered for my wife with a dinner invitation to me that same night. A 3-act play of betrayal executed under my own damn roof. But I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to shout. I was going to take everything from them, slowly. And here's where the nightmare begins. Not for me, for them. Man take apart an engine? Carefully. Deliberately. Piece by piece. He doesn't smash it. Doesn't rush. He respects the machine, even when he knows it's broken beyond repair. That's exactly how I started taking apart the illusion of my marriage. First stop? My mother's house. Not to talk. Not to confront. Just to plant something small. A voice-activated recorder. I slipped it behind the china cabinet while she was out getting her hair colored or poisoning someone else's conscience. Who knows? I left no trace. I wasn't there for apologies. I was there for evidence. And believe me, Mom never disappoints. Within 3 days, I had 3 separate recordings of her talking to my wife. One where she called me too soft for this world. Another where she flat out said, "It's not like the baby would have even looked like him. That's the truth, sweetheart. Be grateful it's gone." Yeah, you read that right. That's what she said about her own grandchild. About her son's unborn child. Even in betrayal, my mother had a way of being queen of the venom pit. Like she wanted a crown for cruelty. Meanwhile, at home, I was all smiles. "Hey babe, how was your day? You look tired. Should I cook tonight?" Little things. Harmless things. I watched her relax. She thought I hadn't heard. She thought the truth had vanished in the wind. And you know what they say about people who think they got away with it? They get sloppy. I started noticing the meetings again. Late work nights. Spa appointments. So I installed GPS tracking software on her car. Not because I wanted to catch her. No. I wanted to confirm the pattern. Build the case. Remove all doubt. She wasn't just cheating. She was bold about it. She went back to that same hotel 3 times in 10 days. Different times, same place. She was even texting him while I was sitting across from her at dinner. Miss you already. Can't stop thinking about yesterday. He suspects nothing. You're so much better than him. Better than me. A man who paid for her schooling, covered her debts, and put her name on a house she didn't lift a finger to build. But that's when I got an idea. Not just for payback, but presentation. I called a realtor buddy. Told him I was thinking of selling. Just curious what the market value might be on a house like ours. Just want to know my options, I said. He was happy to oblige. Within 2 days, I had a full appraisal report, a list of buyer contacts, and this is key, a private mailbox set up in my name only for the offer letters to come to. Then I called my lawyer, Thomas Greer. We'd gone to school together. Shared a dorm room, once shared a bottle of bourbon that nearly ended us both. You ready? He asked. Almost, I said. One more week. Because timing? Timing is everything. During that week, I did something a little extra. Call it petty. Call it psychological warfare. I don't care. I booked a couples massage. Yes, for me and her. And the moment her phone buzzed during it, I leaned over and whispered, "Is that Jason or your mother checking in?" She laughed awkwardly. What? I smiled. Nothing. Just thinking out loud. She didn't say a word for the rest of the appointment. Not a single damn word. The seed was planted. And fear? Oh, it started to bloom. That weekend, I told her I had to visit an old friend out of town, someone going through a divorce. She didn't even blink. Take your time, she said. I'll probably just visit Mom. Of course she would. Of course she would. And so while I was out of town, Thomas filed the paperwork. Divorce. Asset separation. Request for sole ownership of the house on account of financial fraud and emotional abuse. Oh, and a little bombshell clause, citing undisclosed pregnancy and medical procedure with concealment from spouse as grounds for a contested settlement. Yes, who has full documentation? Yes, who has proof it wasn't my child? I came home 2 days later, kissed her on the cheek, told her I missed her. Then, over dinner, I slid the envelope across the table like a waiter handing over the check. What's this? She asked, her smile starting to tremble. I said it real calm, real soft. Your exit ticket. Signed and sealed. Her hands started to shake. I don't understand. No, I said. You don't. But you will. Soon. And then I stood up, kissed her forehead, and left the room. The first thing to break wasn't her voice. It was her composure. 3 hours after I handed her the envelope, I heard the door to our bedroom slam. Then came the shuffle of frantic pacing. Then crying. It started soft. Fragile. But it didn't stay that way. By midnight, she was wailing in the bathroom like someone had died. Something had. Not a person. No, I wasn't that lucky. But the story she'd crafted? The version of herself she tried so hard to sell to me, to her friends, to the neighbors, to my own mother, that fantasy just went up in flames. And for the first time in a long, long time, I slept well. She confronted me the next morning. The way a liar does, loud, accusatory, desperate. You went through my phone? No, I said, calm as ever. But I could have. You planned this? You've been planning this behind my back like a snake. No, I said again, like a man who finally woke up. She threw a mug at the floor. Porcelain shattered like her delusion. And you know what I did? I smiled. Because now, she was on defense. She tried everything. First came the tears. I was lost. I didn't mean to hurt you. I didn't know what I was doing. Classic act. Then came the bargaining. Let's go to therapy. I'll quit my job. I'll cut off Mom. I swear. Sure you will. Then, when she saw none of it was working, the mask slipped. And beneath it? Hatred. Raw and sour like spoiled milk. You're not innocent, she snapped. You're just bitter. A boring man with a boring life. You're punishing me because you're too weak to keep me happy. I just looked at her. Then said, you're not wrong. I was weak. That's over now. And oh, speaking of weakness, let's talk about Mom. She found out 2 days later. A courier dropped a copy of the filing at her front porch, along with a gift, a USB flash drive, labeled simply, for your records. Inside? Recordings. Her voice. Her words. Her filth. If you just kept your legs closed, we wouldn't be in this mess. Lie to him if you have to, but don't get caught. He'll forgive anything. You just need to cry. Now that got her to call me. My phone rang while I was at the gym. I let it go to voicemail. When I listened to it later, she was screaming. Not crying, screaming. Like someone who had just realized the walls were closing in and she couldn't sweet-talk her way out. I'm your mother, she yelled. You don't do this to family. I played that message 3 times, then deleted it. Family? She'd buried that word months ago. That week, I moved half our shared savings into a new account. Legally. Quietly. With all the proper documentation attached. Then I canceled her credit cards. The gaslighting came next. She'd text things like, "Can we please talk? You're not thinking clearly. You're destroying everything for one mistake." One mistake? She lied to me, cheated on me, aborted a child that could have been mine, with my mother's help. And I'm the one not thinking clearly? No. What I was thinking was clearly deadly. And here's the best part. You remember Jason? The other man? The real baby daddy? Turns out his wife had no idea. 2 kids. Suburban life. PDA meetings and matching Christmas sweaters. Pure Hallmark. So I sent her everything. Not anonymously. Not cryptically. Direct. A man should know who he's married to. A woman should know who's climbing into her bed. And when you blow up someone's world like that, you'd be amazed how fast the shockwaves circle back. Jason lost his job, his family, his picture-perfect life. He tried to call me once, left a voicemail calling me a cold bastard. You're welcome, Jason. I hope that silver Audi was worth it. And my wife? She stayed in the house another week, walking on eggshells, staring at me like a deer stuck between instinct and regret. Until one morning, I came back from a jog and found the closet half empty. Just a note on the dresser. You won. I hope you're happy. Win? No, sweetheart. This wasn't a game. The house was quieter after she left. Not peaceful. Not yet. But quieter, like a battlefield after the last gunshot echoes into the trees. She didn't take much. A few clothes. Her makeup. Some sentimental junk she probably thought still meant something to me. She left the wedding photo, though, right there on the nightstand. Our smiles frozen in time. Her in that ivory dress. Me in that suit I'd grown out of. I looked so damn proud back then. Hopeful. Like I'd just won the lottery and didn't realize I'd been handed a fake ticket. I didn't frame that photo. She did. Now it was mine to destroy. I didn't smash it. I just took it down, placed it face down in a drawer, and shut it quietly. Just like I'd shut the door on us. Now, don't get me wrong. Just because she left the house doesn't mean she was out of the game. Oh no, she was still trying to play. She called mutual friends. Cried to them about how cold I was. How I overreacted. Tried to paint herself as the lost, misunderstood wife who made a mistake and just wanted her husband to see her again. Classic move. Weaponized vulnerability. But unfortunately for her, I'd already started making my own calls. I didn't go nuclear. Not yet. See, the smart move isn't dropping a bomb. It's leaking the truth, one drip at a time. A quiet coffee with a couple from our friend group. Just wanted you to hear it from me. Conversation with my cousin, who always liked her more than me. Even her boss. Yeah, we'd crossed paths once at a fundraiser. Didn't say much then, but when I called and mentioned her professional conduct, he was very interested in a meeting. Infidelity doesn't break company policy, I told him. But repeatedly using company resources to schedule hotel meetups during work hours? Might want to check the logs. Silence on the line. Then, thank you, Mr. Redacted. We'll be looking into that. Let's just say she didn't get fired. But she did get reassigned. Out of sight. Out of influence. Right where I wanted her. As for mom, oh, she went full soap opera. Voicemails. Emails. Even a letter. A handwritten letter like she was auditioning for some kind of twisted Southern drama. You're breaking this family apart. You need to understand, I did what I thought was best. She was lost. I was helping. Helping. Like you help a drowning man by holding his head underwater. I didn't reply, but I did forward the voicemail where she admitted to the termination to my father. Yeah, he's still around. Still quiet. Still retired. Still trying to pretend his wife wasn't a manipulative puppet master. I watched the message get marked read, then saw he logged out of the shared Netflix account. Baby steps. You might think I was satisfied, that the pieces had fallen into place and I could just ride off into the sunset. But see, I wasn't just building an ending. I was building a beginning. The kind that didn't come with secrets, or lies, or the echo of betrayal in the walls. First, I refinanced the house, removed her name from the deed. She didn't contest it, probably because the settlement offer I gave her was generous. Not out of kindness, out of calculation. Give her enough to disappear quietly. Keep her too comfortable to make noise. Let her rot in comfort. She signed. I signed. Thomas smiled. And just like that, It was done. I spent that evening sitting on the back deck, bourbon in hand, watching the sun dip below the fence line. The same backyard we used to talk about filling with kids. A swing set. A dog. Laughter. Now it was just me and the breeze. And for once, that was enough. But just before I went back inside, my phone lit up. Unknown number. One new voicemail. I played it on speaker. It was her voice. I know you probably hate me. I deserve it. But you need to know. I wasn't the only one lying. A pause. A soft breath. Your mother, she told me things. About you. About your childhood. About your father. Things you don't know. Things you should know. I didn't sleep that night. Didn't even try. That voicemail looped in my head like a ticking metronome. Your mother, she told me things. About you. About your father. Things you don't know. Funny how betrayal sharpens your ears. You hear the tone beneath the words, the weight, the regret. She wasn't calling to get back in my life. She was warning me. Why? Maybe guilt finally cracked her armor. Or maybe, just maybe, she knew Mom better than I ever had. The next morning, I went to my father's house. I hadn't seen him in months. Not since Mom's birthday brunch, when she made some snide joke about how I still couldn't cook an egg and he just sat there, quietly sipping his orange juice like he was trying to disappear into the glass. The man had perfected silence. Maybe that's how he survived her. I knocked once. The door opened slow. He blinked. Hesitated. Hey, I said. Got a minute? We sat in the sunroom. The same wicker chairs, the same faded cushions that had been there since I was a kid. He made coffee. Black. No sugar. Like always. I didn't waste time. Did Mom ever lie to you? I asked. He didn't answer right away. Just stared out the window at the empty bird feeder. Then he said, every day. I just stopped keeping count. That hit me harder than I expected. He said it like a man admitting to losing a war he never knew he'd enlisted in. She told my wife things about me, I said. About you. What did she mean? He closed his eyes. I told your mother something in confidence once. About a mistake. Something from before we got married. I leaned forward. Go on. He rubbed his hands together like he was trying to scrub something off. When I was in my early 20s, I dated someone else. Got her pregnant. I wanted to marry her, but she disappeared before the baby was born. I never knew if she kept it. I tried to find her. Couldn't. My throat tightened. She ever tell you why she disappeared? He shook his head. No, but I think your mother had something to do with it. There it was. The missing puzzle piece. The shadow that had always hung over our house, over him. His silence wasn't just fatigue. It was penance. Mom knew. Of course she did. She chased that woman out of his life. Cornered her. Maybe threatened her. Why? Because she wanted him whole. To herself. Forever. My mother wasn't just controlling. She was surgical. She cut people out of her story like cancer. And the scariest part? She never saw herself as the villain. You think she told my wife to break me? I asked. Dad nodded slowly. If it meant keeping you under her thumb? Yeah. He looked me dead in the eye. She always resented how much of you I had. I left that house colder than when I'd walked in. That was the real betrayal. My mother didn't just enable my wife's infidelity. She engineered it. Fed her ammunition. Made herself indispensable. Then pulled strings like some suburban puppet master while smiling over casseroles. It wasn't just betrayal. It was generational sabotage. And the worst part? It worked. Until now. That afternoon, I made one last stop. A bank. A new account. No joint access. No parents. No wife. No shadow. Just me. And something I'd never truly had. Autonomy. Back at home, I opened the drawer with the old wedding photo. Slid it out. Looked at it one last time. Then I took a pen. Flipped the photo over. And wrote one word on the back. Rewritten. I took a week off work. No excuses. No fake stories. Just personal time. I'm rebuilding. Didn't say what. Didn't need to. The people who mattered gave me a nod. The rest? Screw him. I started each day early, before the sun rose. Coffee black. Laptop open. A list titled Phase 2 blinking back at me. This wasn't about revenge anymore. This was reclamation. Of my space. My time. My story. Step 1. The house. The master bedroom? Gutted. Painted over the eggshell gray my wife insisted on with something bold, navy and brick. The shared closet? Gone. Turned it into a personal study. Shelves. Soundproofing. A vault for the memories I still wanted to keep, and those I wanted to bury. The guest room? Stripped every trace of her. That perfume she wore? Boxed up. Sent to Goodwill. The mattress? Burned it. Literally. Call it symbolic. Or just therapeutic. Step 2. The name. Not mine, hers. I went through every account. Every document. Every trace where her signature still lived beside mine. Snip. Delete. Revoke. Replace. The last one was the emergency contact at work. She'd been listed for 7 years. I deleted her name and replaced it with someone I trusted more than anyone. No one. Because finally, I was enough.